Thanks for joining us for Met 12 News. I'm Stephanie Cruz. Our first story takes us to Marshalltown Community College to look at a new art exhibit at the Ray Frederick Art Gallery. Met 12 News reporter Alyssa Reel has the story.
Marshalltown Community College not only has a fine art program, but they also have a fine way of displaying their results. I had a chance to talk to Tim Castle about the program itself.
With the Ray Frederick Gallery here on the MCC campus, we run shows throughout the academic year. We have about 3 or 4 guest artists per semester, and then we end the semester with a student show. Most of those, of course, are students from my studio classes exhibiting their work. But it's a great way to expose not only my students in art, but the campus community and the community at large regarding other forms of art. People get a lot of exposure when they exhibit their work here.
Artist Janet Heineke spoke with us about her collection on display here at the Ray Frederick Gallery.
I draw, I paint, I make prints, and I especially like to talk to other people about art because I like to share with them some of the skills in making art. Now, this particular exhibition is really about simple things: colors, textures, lines. It's especially about lines. And most of the things in this exhibition are things that can be found in nature. Behind me on the other side here is a watercolor painting in which I found some coral along the beach. Drew it carefully in pencil. That drawing's also in the show. And then after I drew it and understood it better, then I was free to manipulate what I understood and converted it into this painting. So most of what is here has to do with that simple intention to elevate the small things in the natural world.
From the Ray Frederick Gallery, this is Alyssa Reel reporting for Met 12 News.
Thanks, Alyssa. It looks like a great art exhibit. Our next story takes us to the Historical Society of Marshall County. The museum is a beautiful old home filled with wonderful displays and artifacts.
When you come to tour the museum, you'll see things from a general store, as it was in mid-1800s and mid-1800s to early 1900s. A family room, as it would have been in the early 1900s. The war room, which covers a large span of time. The entertainment room of different groups and places in Marshalltown that people saw entertainment. And the frontier and urban room, which cover like farm life. And the urban room has tools and just older items, everyday items like sewing machine and things that people use that we take for granted now of how they lived and how they sewed their dresses and their clothing. And then also I have a medical and dental room. So it kind of covers what a medical office used to look like. And the Deaconess's Hospital. I have a large display on the Evangelical Deaconess's Hospital and home. This is the Francis Williams Library. It is the central location for the Central Iowa Genealogical Society. And it also has our collection of books from the Historical Society. But the Central Iowa Genealogical, they will have people here on every other Saturday to help you with research, doing their own research. If you're looking up for listings of people in cemeteries, we have listing books and they update those. Every few years we'll get updates. Susie Sauer was a member of the Historical Society, and she believed in the preservation and education of history. When she passed away, her entire estate and house was left to the Historical Society for her house to be kept as a museum for that era. And that's why it's open for tours by appointment. So her estate and her trust is what supports a great bit of the Historical Society.
Marshall County has a fascinating history. Another piece of Marshall County history is the tragic train wreck in the Green Mountain area back in 1910. To observe the 100-year anniversary of the deadliest train wreck accident in Iowa, an event is planned on March 21st at the Fisher Community Center. Next up on Met 12, the play Squabbles was performed by MCC students this past week. Met 12 goes behind the scenes to talk to the director and cast members of the production.
The name of the play is Squabbles, and it's basically about a 30-something couple who have taken her father in after he had a heart attack, and they wanted to just make sure he was safe and living in an environment where they could keep an eye on him. He's a cantankerous guy, and Jerry really likes him. That's his son-in-law. And just as they find out that they're expecting their first child, his mother's house burns down, and so they have to bring her to live with them as well. Where the squabbles ensue is the father-in-law and the mother-in-law on the opposite sides of the family have not been able to stand each other since the day of the wedding. So putting these two together is like oil and water, and naturally the squabbles ensue from there.
I'm staying.
Don't unpack your shopping bags, Mrs. Sloan.
Listen, bucko, I'm staying, so help me God, I'm staying if it kills me.
To spite me, that's the kind of person you are. You'd stay where you're not.
What on earth is going on here? I play the character of Jerry Sloan, and he is a jingle writer from Stamford, Connecticut. His wife is 35 years old, and we find out that my wife is going to have a baby, and I'm super excited about it, and yet she's really confused.
I am Mildred Sloan, Jerry's mother. In the beginning of the play, my house burns down, and so I have to go live with them, and I don't get along with Bryce's father-in-law, so it's interesting when I have to come live with them.
It's really great. The kids have a good work ethic, and they come to rehearsals. They have fun, but they work hard.
It's fun. It's fun to go out of my comfort zone sometimes because I need to not be as shy.
The thing that I really like about acting as a play is being someone that you're not. You're able to take on another person's persona in a sense, and you really just get a feel for the character, and it's really fun to be someone you're not because it allows you to open yourself up a little more and allows you to make some new friends that you never knew. So it's pretty fun.
They helped with the set and painting and everything, so it just really, it's very rewarding to work with them and see what I hear in my head when I first read through a play and have them bring it to life for me on the stage. It's really cool.
It looks like the MCC students had a lot of fun producing that play. Next week, Met 12 News goes behind the scenes at the current Marshalltown Community Theater production, Nun Sensations. Our final story on Met 12 proves that you can have fun at any age as we go to the Totem Bowl to cover the Senior Bowling League. So how long have you guys been bowling?
Forever.
I've been bowling 52 years. As long as we've been married, I have been bowling.
What do you enjoy the most about bowling here?
The camaraderie, the arguing with people and stuff like that. Just showing up, I guess that's the best thing to do.
Well, it's a great activity for adults that are 50 years of age and older. It's good exercise, good social, they can meet people. Well, it's just a certain age group. They want to bowl with people their own age. And they want to bowl in the afternoon so they can be home in the evening. And it's just, again, it's just great exercise and a chance to meet them. And they play cards and they have a lot of fun when they do it.
It looks like they're having a great time at the bowling alley. That wraps up for Met 12 News for this week. I'm Stephanie Cruz. Thanks for watching.